The Yorkshire Coastcast with Paddy. Loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places.
Hello and welcome to episode 64.
This is the coast.
Coming up, all you need to know about Whitby's Fish and Chips Festival this weekend. Also, a couple from near Whitby do a 3-day challenge to raise money for their daughter's incurable condition. And there's a big football tournament in Bridlington this weekend for the Hinge Centre. All that and more coming up on episode 64 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast with me, Paddy Billington, and brought to you by This Is The Coast, the local commercial radio station for the Yorkshire coast. The radio station, DAB, across much of the region. Also online at thisisthecoast.co.uk, on smart speakers, on the app, on Roku TV. And this podcast you can find wherever you get your podcasts from, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and always on our website and app, and you can get your smart speaker to play the latest episode of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast. So, this weekend coming, it is the Whitby Fish and Chips Festival, and to tell us what we can expect this weekend, there is a lot, it's Councillor Simon Myers from North Yorkshire Council. It's back, and it's a hugely popular event, isn't it?
Yeah, they get between 15 and 20,000 visitors, which is, great for Whitby.
It really plays on Whitby's place in the maritime world, and of course they still build ships in Whitby at Parkhole.
Oh, absolutely. Still very much a sort of maritime centre, on the Yorkshire coast. It's a celebration of the history of the place. It's a celebration of the community of Whitby, and it's a celebration of all the wonderful creative stuff that goes on in the town. And there are craft things for kids. There are demonstrations on how to, prepare and cook fish. There are local bands, craft stalls, everything under the sun, really. The Olympics, of course, the Fishermen's Olympics, which culminates in a tug of war between fishermen. It's all there over the next couple of days.
Yeah, no, I've witnessed the tug of war before. As you can imagine, actually, they take it seriously. Nobody wants to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as I remember from my youth, we never wanted to lose either. I'm not saying we always played fairly. I'm sure they do in Whitby. They're very proper.
You mentioned the cooking demonstrations.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it, when you can walk into a marquee, whatever the weather, whether it's sunny or not, and see, local experts, local highly regarded chefs actually doing a demonstration and telling you what they're doing, what they're cooking, how to cook it. People love that sort of stuff. Those marquees are always packed out.
They are. And I think it's a really valuable thing because, a lot of people like fish, but they're a bit scared of it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they think it's fiddly and they're not quite sure how to cook it and blah, blah, blah. And I think to be able to go and see, these experts prepare fantastic dishes out of locally caught, fresh as a daisy fish, it, will give people confidence. They'll go home, they go to their fishmonger and get stuck in, rather than thinking, I don't know, I don't want to mess it up. It's a really valuable resource.
Not only that, we've got the entertainment as well, which you sort of touched on there.
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah.
I'm looking at the lineup, actually, and it all gets underway midday on Saturday with Captain of the Ship, and then you've got Howlin' Johnny and the Devil Rejects. Stuff happening all throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
Saltburn Smugglers, Low Tides, the Farningdales Folk Choir. So you can, even just by looking at the list, you can get a flavour for the kind of music that you're going to be enjoying. Something a little different, something quite maritime themed. What you want, really.
Absolutely right. Yeah. No, it's amazing what they pack in to 2 days, really. And the amount of entertainment there for people, and the fact that it's free, which in difficult times for people, I think, what a great thing. Take the family to Whitby and have a really, really grand couple of days.
And, we talk about Whitby's maritime heritage, and we look forward to Whitby's maritime future as well. Of course, we've got the new maritime hub, which is all but complete now. It's a statement, isn't it, about Whitby as a hub for maritime life?
Absolutely, and I'm actually part of part of the events over the weekend will be a release by the lobster hatchery of young lobsters into the sea. So it's also the work that's ongoing in terms of conservation and restocking and all the rest of it. There's some really great work going on there, and having the hub there as a centre for all sorts of maritime related businesses, possibly getting some university input into that, I think is great. Because at the end of the day, we want to guarantee the future of Whitby, as a fantastic, romantic, beautiful place, but also as a living, working maritime community.
Yeah, and it's amazing actually just how tiny those lobsters are when they release them. They're absolutely tiny. You could fit several into your palm of your hand, couldn't you? They're tiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a massive thing around here, isn't it? The lobster industry here on the Yorkshire coast is absolutely huge now, isn't it? Which is great. And there's puppet making sessions, and I believe there's going to be a giant crab created by local school children paraded on Sunday as well.
There is a giant crab, and but as you say, sort of puppet making sessions for all kids, just loads of stuff for everybody, whatever their taste. I think you would find it in Whitby this weekend, and it's good. It's good for locals because for example, Whitby Abbey is going to be free to enter during the festival for those in YO21 and YO22 postcodes. Which is brilliant, and also a chance to tour the Whitby Lifeboat as well. So these are the sort of things that you either maybe don't normally get a chance to do, you can do for free. Yeah, no, absolutely. So it sort of ticks all sorts of. I mean, it's a great thing for anybody to go and visit. It's great for the local community because it brings them all together, and all those performers, and well, I'm not saying all of them, but an awful lot of performers, a lot of people running. The craft and creative things that will be scattered all over the quay there. They're local creatives, they're local businesses, they're local whatever. So it brings the community together and shows it at its best. Great festival to come, and it's great to celebrate the heritage of Whitby. People visit from literally all over the world. It might be Dracula, it might be Captain Cook, it might just be the fact that Whitby is so famous all around the world, and there's got to be a reason why they come. There are a number of reasons why they come, and that's why we are particularly lucky, aren't we, to have it on our doorstep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but as you say, it is everything from sort of conservation work to goths to fantastic food to breathtaking Whitby Abbey to the gallery, fantastic collection there, well worth going to see. It's a very rich, diverse community, and has something for everyone. And you're a spit and a jump from the North York Moors, which is as beautiful as anything really, apart from the Yorkshire Dales. I may have a bit of prejudice there. Yeah. I'm prejudiced the other way actually as well. So I'll go North York Moors. But what you can get on a steam train in Pickering, can't you? And it's all there. So we are blessed. Yeah, we are blessed. And a useful tip would be, of course, to take advantage of the park and ride in Whitby over the weekend, because certainly during Goth weekend it was absolutely chocker in town. So good idea to use the park and ride to just make your life easier. Who wants to spend half their day trailing around trying to find parking when there's the facility there to park easily and get on a bus. So thanks for highlighting that. Well done. No, that's all right. I see the purple bus regularly, so it's frequently on my mind. Right, thank you so much for your time, and I hope it's a really successful weekend. Yeah, me too.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire.
And that was Councillor Simon Myers from North Yorkshire Council talking about this weekend's Whitby Fish and Chips Festival. Lots more online. This is thecoast.co.uk. You can find Whitby's Fish and Chips Festival on social media as well. Next on episode 64 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast. Congratulations to local couple Laura and James from near Whitby, who've just completed 3 big physical challenges in 3 days, raising money for Cure Usher Syndrome. This is at the moment an incurable condition, and their 2-year-old was diagnosed with it at 15 months old. She already has hearing difficulties and is likely to go blind, maybe in her teens or early adulthood. And at the moment there is no cure, and that's what Cure Usher Syndrome is all about and what the couple have been raising money for these past few days. So on Tuesday, they did the 25-mile Yorkshire Three Peaks walk. On Wednesday, they cycled from Ingleton in the Yorkshire Dales all the way to Swainby on the edge of the North York Moors, 70 miles. And then on Thursday, they walked the remaining distance to Egton Bridge from Claybank across the top of the North York Moors, following the coast-to-coast route. Now, they were popping into the show each morning before their challenges, and on Friday's Paddy in the morning, the day after they'd completed the big challenge, we had a catch-up.
A few aches in the legs this morning, but not as bad as we thought we might be, so yeah.
Yeah,
quite good, really.
How did the walk go? I know there were some pretty hefty showers around yesterday.
Yeah, we were really lucky, to be honest. We set off and it was drizzling, but after that we had sunshine, so yeah, someone was smiling down on us.
Yeah, well done. There was hailstones where I was yesterday, which wasn't a million miles away, so good on you for that. And a great welcome for you in Egton Bridge yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Obviously we had some friends join us on the walk, which was great. That really gave us a boost. And then when we got to Egton Bridge, there was loads of friends and family there to meet us. So, yeah, we had a lovely evening at the Post Gate celebrating the end of the challenge, so it was great. Yeah,
well, I know you sent me a picture, but I got one sent from Stephen from Egton Bridge as well, who sent us a picture of you guys finishing as well, which was nice. So he heard about it. And the fundraising, how's that going then? Because, of course, the donations have been pouring in, haven't they, during this 3-day challenge?
Yeah, so we're really just so grateful to everyone who's donated. I think the Just Giving page is just under £4,000, which is fantastic. Obviously still a little bit away from... Sorry, that's my little girl chucking things about.
That's all right.
Still a little bit away from where we want to be, obviously our target of 5,000. But yeah, there's still donations coming in and we've got some cash to add to it as well. So yeah, we're really pleased. But yeah, obviously the Just Giving page is staying open. So if anyone wants to donate, it's still going to be there.
Yeah, fantastic. And all raising money for Cure Usher Syndrome, which of course your 2-year-old daughter has been diagnosed with. And the hope is to find a cure. And hopefully that will prevent her from going blind, already suffering from some hearing loss. And that, of course, is the hope, isn't it? So you need as much money raising as possible so that they can hopefully find a cure for Usher Syndrome, yeah.
Yeah, that's the hope.
All right. Well, well done. Well done to both of you. Obviously, it wasn't just you. It was your partner as well, James, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, well done to him. And did your daughter miss you? Was she happy to see you at the end?
Yeah, she'd just woken up from a nap, so she was a bit dazed and a bit surprised to see us with a great crowd of people. But she's, once she'd woken herself up, I think she was pretty chuffed we were back.
All right. Well, look, well done. Thanks for keeping us updated, and all the best for the remainder of the fundraising. And get in touch anytime you got anything going on, won't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
And if you would like to donate anything following the success of those 3 big physical challenges, then we've got the links at thisisthecoast.co.uk in the Yorkshire Coast news section. I'm sure they'd really, really appreciate your help in getting towards their £5,000 target. They're not too far off at the time of recording.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places. This is The Coast.
Now, next, there's a charity football event happening at Bridlington Town FC this coming Sunday, the 17th of May, and it's to raise money for the Hinge Centre in Bridlington. Megan Robinson is operations manager, and she told Andrew Snay from our news team that there's lots going on at the Mounting System Stadium throughout the day on Sunday.
There is indeed. So we've got a charity football tournament on Fun Day. The doors open at 10:30 with our first kick-off at 11 o'clock. We've got 6 teams who are local businesses. We've got West Building Supplies, Muntons and Bruntons, AB Graphics, are some of those local businesses who are supporting the event. And we've got lots of activities for children and adults as well. So we've got a raffle, glitter tattoos, cakes and toy stall. And it'll just be a nice day, hopefully, for everybody to sort of come together, raise funds for the Hinge Centre and have a bit of fun, quick about.
Brilliant. And just remind us about what the Hinge Centre do.
We're a charity in Bridlington and we support the community as a whole, offering vital services, support, advice and guidance. We have a number of different community groups that run, all supporting people to build confidence, reducing isolation, meeting new people So any support that any funds and any support that people can offer to us is much appreciated. The fundraising we do is really, really vital to provide our services.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, have you seen an increase in the demand for those services?
We have indeed, and since sort of the cost of living crisis, we've seen an increase in working people accessing our services for our emergency food provisions and our community food store. So we have seen an increase in people accessing our services, and our services are open to everybody, not just for people who are on benefits or are low income. Anybody can access any of our services across the board.
And anybody who's listening and thinking, maybe this is something that would help me, what should they do?
Yeah, you can give us a call. So our telephone number is 01262 679 671. We've got an email address and a website. So if anybody would like to support us, you can have a look online, get in touch with us, and we'll get back in touch to see where we go from there. But any support is absolutely greatly appreciated.
Fantastic. And I gather Bridborough boot room are there, so free football boots for members of the community. And I'm sure you're appreciative of Bridlington Town opening their doors for the day.
Absolutely, yeah. Ryan from Bridborough Boot Club, he's coming down and giving, free boots out to the community. I think kids and adults, a really great initiative. And then Bridtown, absolutely, yeah. Really, really pleased that they're on board with this again. And thank you to Steve as well for sorting out a couple of the scholarship referees for us, who'll be reffing the games on Sunday.
And good luck to all those taking part at the stadium in Bridlington on Sunday. Sounds great.
The Yorkshire Coastcast. Loving life in Yorkshire.
Coming up, random acts of kindness arrives in Bridlington, but also Filey and Scarborough, and maybe in your neck of the woods on the Yorkshire coast as well, as we team up with Couplands, the bakers. But more on that soon. Firstly, a reminder that this is thecoast.co.uk. Our radio station website is filled with amazing half-price voucher deals and competitions. We've got an incredible Make a Father's Day competition running at the moment. I'll tell you about that in a sec. But firstly, a recent competition we've been running is to win a family ticket for a day out with Thomas on the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. And on my Paddy in the Morning breakfast show on Friday the 15th of May, we called Maria to bring her the good news that she had been picked out as our winner.
Hello.
Morning, it's Paddy from This Is The Coast radio station. Is that Maria?
It is, yeah, morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Good. I've got some good news for you. You entered a competition to win a family ticket for a day out with Thomas, and you've gone and won.
Oh, wow, lovely, thank you.
Well done. It's going to be an amazing experience as well. You can ride behind Thomas himself, a real steam engine. There's live shows with Sodor Station Sweepers Rusty and Dusty. Get involved in the Thomas and Friends character hunt, garden games, arts and crafts, storytelling sessions, music corner, fairground rides, a remote control Thomas maze, and also picture opportunities with Sir Topham Hatt as well. It's a wonderful prize. Amazing things happening.
It looks like a really nice day out.
Oh, it is going to be great. So who's going to be enjoying this then?
It'll be me and my daughter and hopefully my nephew and grandma.
Oh, fantastic. So a proper family day out. So this is valid on the 23rd or 24th of May, Saturday or the Sunday. Someone will be in touch to sort out how you get your tickets for it. But it's going to be great.
Oh, lovely. Thank you ever so much.
I'm very jealous. Yeah. Have a super time. Someone will be in touch. All right.
Yep, lovely. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye. Huge well done to Maria there from Scarborough, who's won that family ticket for 2 adults and 2 children for a day out with Thomas on the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. So we've got a great competition which has launched recently. You can make your Father's Day super special by winning a prize bundle of Father's Day gifts from local businesses. So one lucky dad winning all of this: a private design and make chocolate workshop for a family of 4 worth £100 at Cross Chocolates, a family ticket to Eden Camp for 2 adults and up to 3 children, a £50 voucher to spend at Flixton Sawmill, a pair of tickets to the Barry Sheen Festival at Oliver's Mount in June, a £50 gift voucher for Taylor's Bar and Kitchen in Scarborough's North Bay, also a £40 gift voucher for the Rosette in Scarborough, and a meal for 2 and a bottle of house wine at the Lobster Shack at the Ship in Sewerby. All of that won by one lucky dad. You can enter. You need to answer this question. In the Star Wars film, who turned out to be Luke's father? Is it C-3PO, Jabba the Hutt, or Darth Vader? If you think you know the answer to that, you can fill in the form at thisisthecoast.co.uk or on our app. Just click win in the menu.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places. This is the coast.
Next, the Yorkshire Coast Charity says people in Scarborough are not disengaged, but they are underpowered. Coast and Vale Community Action says they've spent the last 3 years listening to people across Scarborough. Mel Bonney is from CAVCA. She told Andrew Snaith from our news team what the resulting report means.
I think it's about our communities. Yes, they have frustrations about what's going on and about what looks like decline in our communities and about spaces and places not being cared for. But actually, there's a huge amount of will for people to do good things within their communities, huge amount of volunteer effort, groups, informal groups, formal groups, voluntary organisations that are doing really positive things. It's just that the systems aren't necessarily as responsive as we need to enable them to make the changes that they'd like to see.
Okay, and how are CAVCA able to maybe help with that?
Well, what we're hoping to do is provide some opportunities for people to come together, local people, groups, to come together with some of those systems leads, people who hold power over housing and public services, and actually identify some projects that we can collaboratively work on to see the effect of community power in practice.
I was going to say, so I mean, there has been some examples of that previously, hasn't there?
There have, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've got lots of examples of community power. I think one of the ones that's high up in people's consciousness at the moment is the state of the seawater and the impact that has on local people and on the tourist economy. So down to community power, a number of organisations, agencies and local people have come together to set up a community water testing. That is a prime example of communities taking back control and actually doing something themselves to better understand the situation, provide the evidence that's needed to make the changes that we need to see the improvements in water. Other examples here at the street, our climbing wall expansion was entirely down to the power of the climbing community coming together, raising awareness, raising funds, and making something happen that they wanted to happen, and no service was able to make available for them.
Are you likely to see increased meetings over the summer then? Is there something sort of already in the pipeline for some of these?
Yeah, we've got a meeting on the 2nd of June, which is where we're going to identify some of those projects to work on. And then there'll be a lot of, not meetings like we expect meetings to be, sitting around a table and lots of talk and not a lot of action, but much more action focused, trying things out, seeing what works, talking to people, engaging with communities and taking some practical steps to change. So the summer will be full of practical opportunities to try out community power. Fantastic.
And for anybody who thinks so, they might have an idea, they might have a project that could help the Yorkshire coast. I mean, what should they do?
Come and talk to us. We'd love to see you. Could either pop into the street on William Street car park and talk to the front of house staff there and they'll pass you on to the right person. Or you can just email me directly at mel@cavca.org.uk. We understand people's frustrations and we understand that a lot of people don't know how to make the change they need. But if we all come together, we're much more powerful when we're in number.
And that was Mel Bonney from CAVCA.
This is the coast.
Random acts of kindness with Couplands.
Yes, next week we're teaming up with Couplands to bring surprises back to the Yorkshire coast. Myself and Tom Hooper behind the camera from our afternoon show will be taken to the streets to deliver random acts of kindness to unsuspecting people in our local towns and villages all along the Yorkshire coast. So be on the lookout. We've got a great big bag of Couplands, freshly baked surprises ready to go, and also some £10 gift cards as well to use whenever you like. Couplands have been baking since 1885. And they just want to say a huge thank you to the local communities that have supported them throughout the past 140 years, during which time they've grown to have 155 shops right across the region. Be prepared because the next surprise might be for you.
Random acts of kindness.
This is The Coast.
All right, that's just about it for episode 64 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast, which, as I've mentioned, you can get wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget to tune in to the main radio station as well, because we're all about life on the Yorkshire coast. We play you the music you love. We bring you the latest local news that you trust. Our website has amazing half-price voucher deals, great competitions, lots of useful info, including a What's On guide, Tide Times, jobs page. I mean, there's all sorts on there, so do check it out. Or, what, as they say, bookmark the page. Do you bookmark your pages? I wouldn't know how to do that. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to episode 64, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
The Yorkshire Coastcast. The people, the places.
And if you have the opportunity to leave a review wherever you get your podcast from, that'd be fantastic. Thank you for listening.
The Yorkshire Coastcast.
Loving